Sujata Ives es presidente de la Asociación de Desarrollo Profesional de Maryland, catedrática del Comité Internacional de la Asociación Americana de Consejería ACA, coordinadora de la comunidad del Consejo Mundial en Competencia Intercultural y Global, asesora de la Junta del Laboratorio de Desempeño de los Alumnos NFL y miembro del Servicio Senior de la Sociedad para el Manejo de los Recursos Humanos. Es una interculturalista premiada por conectar los puntos del modelo biopsicosocial cultural en la activación del éxito a partir de la perspicacia y el diseño de la vida y el trabajo. La doctora Ives explica cómo en cada ser humano hay un yo contenedor de estructuras biológicas, psicológicas, sociológicas y espirituales. Un yo con cerebro y mentalidad susceptibles de estimulación, formación y transformación. Un yo capaz de desarrollar autoliderazgo y liderazgo social. Desde el punto de vista científico, hoy es posible estudiar el cerebro humano en vivo, ver qué pasa con él cuando imaginamos, cuando decidimos, cuando creamos, cuando recordamos y cuando generamos empatía. Hay estudios que confirman que la autoconciencia de su cerebro le permite al ser humano adaptarse a un mundo en permanente cambio, autoliderarse, hacer realidad sus sueños e identificar oportunidades para co-crear y vivir mejor en comunidad.
Greetings from the United States. I am Dr. Sujata Ives, and I am a foreign workplace development leader and UNESCO's global citizen. My talk today is Train Your Brain for Social Transformation. But before we get started, I want you to know that I was born with a genetic condition where my vocal cords do not close. I am a leader with a disability. But don't let any barriers stop you from your purpose or passion. You must use every gift that you were born, that you were divinely given. If I can do it, so can you. Great, you're bringing to lead social transformation. In order to create a social transformation, you must begin with yourself first. Self-leading comes way before you can lead others. After all, how can you lead other people if you are aimlessly leading yourself? So here are a few essential questions that I want you to begin with today. Don't waste another day. The social transformation begins with you. When we answer these questions, you will transform your mindset and you will create a new way of life for yourself. These essential questions are: who am I? Where am I going? How do I get there? And how do I stay there? So these essential questions are made up for you to transform your mind. Who am I? You are 5 things in one: miracle, body. You are made up of 5 constructs: the biology of you, the psychology of you, the social of you, the cultural of you, and the spiritual of you. You bring all of these things to the table. When we see 2 people talking to each other, dialoguing with each other, please keep in mind that one person is bringing his 5 constructs with him. The other person is bringing her 5 constructs with her. So how many constructs are there at the table? 2 people. Oh, yes, I agree with you. But how many constructs? 10 constructs at the table. There is much room for misinterpretation, isn't there? So, now that you know who you are, where am I going? You have motives, desires, goals, dreams that are formed through all of these 5 constructs. And they create something called your schema. We'll talk about that in a moment. Now, how do I get there? Your brain plays a very important role because this is mission control. Everything is controlled by your brain. And your brain gives you 2 choices. So let's take a look at this. The biology of you has 12 systems that are working together. And perhaps you remember this from your science classes, from your background. The nervous system, the digestive system, the integumentary system, the immune system, all of these things, 12 systems are working together to help the psychology of you. Your brain senses, feels, thinks, and judges. This is what it does every single moment. In every interaction, it senses, feels, thinks, judges. And you put in the 3rd construct, the social view, as you are bringing your norms and values from your family and from your society. The culture of you are bringing your language, your music, your food. The traditions are also embedded in yourselves. And the spirit of you, your belief in a higher power, your belief in the self. All of these make up the self, which is made up of your schema. Now, what is the schema, you ask? Your schema is the sum total of all your beliefs and assumptions that you believe are 100% correct. How do I get there? The brain gives you 2 choices. Like I said, those 2 choices are the back brain, back here, which is the limbic system, the emotional system, the reactive system, versus the frontal lobe right here that is rational, responsive, and growth open. So you must pay attention to the signs that your body is giving you, because that is going to come first. Something starts happening in your body when the environment brings you some sort of issue, problem, or as we say, stimulus. Okay? So maybe you have heart palpitations, maybe a stomach ache, diarrhea, headaches, body pains, sleeplessness, restlessness, cramps, asthma. There are so many more things. Your body is trying to tell you something. This is the biology of you. You must pay attention. Do not avoid. Do not ignore. So you try it. Let me ask you, during the day, do you notice your heart is beating faster? Do you notice sweating in your palms or your face or your body? What other symptoms are you experiencing? Now, the critical question is, when do you experience the above? The biology of you is telling you something. Here in our forum here, it is injustice that is causing stress in your body. And what do we do about it? We come to Otro Mundo to share a different way of doing things, a different way of thinking to better society. So this is how it works. The biology of you gives you these symptoms, the stress through ailments. The psychology will affect you through faulty thinking. So it's important to check your metacognition. The social of you will bring you stress due to influences and non-alignment with your values. The culture of you will cause you stress due to obligations or compliance, due to patriarchal versus matriarchal societies. And the spiritual of you can also cause stress due to assumptions or expectations or opinions. So what do you deal with? There are so many things to deal with. Do you deal with the big tiger that's out there, or do you deal with the little mosquitoes? So I'm here to tell you, before you tackle the big tiger, you must deal with the little things in life, in your circle, with the self. It all begins with the self first. You deal with your own little things, your little mosquitoes that keep buzzing in your life. It's those mosquitoes that persist in your head, in your body, that you must give attention to first before you tackle the big tiger. What things are you spending time on? Transformation begins with your brain. What do you do when you catch a cold? You have certain remedies that you use. You take a break, you rest. You drink more tea, perhaps. You take some medications. Well, catching negative thinking also requires a remedy. Having degrees and certificates like we all do does not stop negative thinking from entering your body and your mind. Social transformation comes from within. It's from the inside out. So you need two things. You need awareness and intention. The awareness of how your brain and body works allows you to better self-lead. The intention helps you take charge of what your brain is sensing, thinking, feeling, judging, perceiving, so that you can self-lead yourself much better before you lead other people. So what's your best defense against the little mosquitoes in work and life? Understand that we are holistic beings that function through our biology, psychology, social, cultural, and spiritual of us. Understand that the back brain is always thinking negatively versus the frontal lobe here, which is rational. Question your thinking. This is called metacognition. How am I thinking? How do I think? What is in my schema that is causing me to think, feel, and judge this way? And judging, why am I in judgment of this person, or of this nation, or of this group or community? So here are examples of the reactions. What can happen? Something happens. This is a stimulus. Something has occurred, either within you or in society. You have the biological receptors, the brain, the heart, the gut, that senses, becomes aware of the stimulus and the reaction that's taken. Ill feelings, thinking, judging. What happens next is judgment is passed. That's back here in the limbic system. The reaction is negative. Then it gets even worse. Evil intent is assumed. That's back here in the limbic system, and the reaction is even more negative. And then what happens? Reaction happens. Reactiveness happens. Irrational happens. That's in the limbic system. And the reaction, the action that may be taken, might be revenge, might be retaliation. It's not good. If you are not aware of how your brain works here and here, you cannot change. You cannot transform. So awareness of who you are, where you are going, your intention of how you will get there, and how you will stay there can help you to respond rationally from this frontal lobe up here. I want you to use UNESCO's story circles model. I want you to choose passive resistance, non-violence, that came to us from great world leaders such as Mahatma Gandhi, who used passive resistance and non-violence for the country of India, my birthplace. Later in history, Martin Luther King used the same philosophy for the civil rights movement within his country when the divide happened between Black and white people. You can activate success. You can be a leader in your niche. It starts from the inside out. You must realize who you are first before you can point your fingers to who other people are. You must realize you are 5 things: the biology of you, the psychology of you, the social, cultural, and the spiritual of you. Everything must be considered. How do you think? What is your schema? You can make a social transformation from the inside out. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I want to thank Oldroom and all of their team and hardworking people in seeking us out, even though it may be like me, a leader with a disability. I appreciate talking with you, coming here, empowering you, inspiring you. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.
ante la actual revolución del conocimiento, pudiera decirse que la educación es un instrumento de protección cerebral, que la suma de las inteligencias colectivas es mucho más que la suma de las inteligencias individuales, y que pensar de manera altruista activa los circuitos de recompensa del cerebro, convirtiéndolo en una herramienta de promoción y proyección del bienestar colectivo. En esta línea de pensamiento se entiende al cerebro como un órgano social que activa la autopreservación ante los estados de soledad y el bienestar frente a los estados de empatía, compañía, comunicación e interacción social, más que como la víscera principal del sistema nervioso, que permite un entramado cognitivo-emocional de la percepción, la atención, la orientación y la decisión humanas.